Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the very first Jane's Walk in the Kawarthas. As I mentioned in the ads, it should be about 1.5 to 2 hours. We'll be going at a very casual pace around the downtown area of Cody. Now, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, if not, at any point, if you can't hear myself or any of our speakers, just wave your hand or just shout to us. We want everyone to be able to hear all the information and all the topics we're going over today. First of all, my name is Tara Wester, and I'm not actually from Cody. My mother is from Coboconk, and I spent my summers when I was a child growing up here. I learned how to swim, I learned how to skate in Cody, and I attended church actually just around the corner. So today I'm very proud that my grandmother, Nina Hughes, who right now is the oldest Coboconker at the age of almost 90, is going to be talking a little bit to us about her first memories of growing up on the Gull River. Now, just a show of hands, how many people here, other than me today, don't consider themselves Coboconkers? Okay, excellent. So we have a few visitors in the crowd today, which is wonderful. I'd like to wish you a very warm welcome. Hope you enjoy the town, and of course, I hope that you enjoy the walk. Now, before we get going, I just want to talk very briefly about 3 things. Just a bit about Jane Jacobs, of course a bit about Cody before we get going, and just why we're all here today. So, I mentioned that this is a Jane's Walk. Does anyone know what a Jane's Walk is? Have you ever been on one?
No.
No?
Yeah, first year.
Have you been on one? Where?
I met one day last me. I went to free in various places.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, great. So for those of you who've never been on one, Jane's Walk is in honor of Jane Jacobs, who was an urban activist. And some of her books are available through the local library or wherever your local library is. And of course, online, there's scores of information on her. You could go to www.janeswalk.net or just Google or just search her name. Of course, I will be going over some information on her today during the walk, talking about what she did for different communities. Essentially, she looked really closely at what made a neighborhood strong and why older buildings are necessary for social and economic stimulation, among many other things. Although Jane lived in Toronto from 1968 until her death in 2006, I think you can appreciate that these ideas are just as important in small towns like Cody as in a big city like Toronto. Now, this is actually the 4th year that Jane's Walk has been run, so 2007, 8, 9, and then of course this year. It started off in downtown Toronto by a group of people who knew her as a way to honor what she did for the local community. So from the annex, we've gone now to 400 walks being run in 2010. Not only are the walks coast to coast across Canada as well as the USA, but this year Jane's Walk has gone global. There's walks being run in Spain, Ireland, India, and Uruguay. So Cody is very much a part of a large network of people getting out there this weekend of May the 1st and May the 2nd and exploring and talking about their communities and what makes it great. Now, this walk is for all of us to share and discover Coboconk's history, heritage, and stories. So I'm going to rely on all of you for this today. It's very much a participatory event, so I hope that everyone's brought at least one story or one question. And while if you haven't, we hope to be able to send you home with some great stories today. Let me start off with an easy question for everyone then. Where did Coboconk get its name from?
It's the anglicization of one of the native languages where the gulls nest.
Excellent, excellent. From here, coin push Coboconk, meaning where the gulls nest. Great. Now, okay, so that's excellent. Some really enthusiastic vocals today. And does anyone know what name Cody had from 1873 to 1880? No, it's a little bit harder. In November of 1872, the Toronto and Nipissing Railway reached Coboconk and a station was built. The station was named Shedden, after the president of the railway. And the town was caused to be named Shedden as well. However, in December of 1880, local residents rallied to have the name changed back to Coboconk, which just goes to show that active participation has always been one of Cody's founding guidelines. Okay, so why are you guys here today? Excellent exercise, maybe some people interested in history, curiosity, maybe this is the first one. Good. As for me, a few years ago when my grandparents had their 65th wedding anniversary, a few people commented how good it was to have a community event that everyone was invited to and welcome to come to. And that's true of today. While the tour is about Kobe and talking a bit about Jane Jacobs, this is first and foremost a community event. It would be great if any of you developed an interest in community planning, or the walk encouraged you to spend more time at downtown Holcomb. And it would be amazing if this event inspired you to join or even start a kind of group or network as a way to get actively involved. But if all you do today is hear one interesting story or connect with one friend, then this walk is a success. On that note, the last thing I'd like to do before we get going is just introduce you to a couple of people. First and foremost is my mother, Gail Webster, who got the ball rolling on this, and definitely without her support and her help, I would have never been able to organize it. Second of all, Brenda Liscombe, who was the first person I talked to about the event. She got me connected with a bunch of the people that are going to be doing presentations and talks today. She got the word out, got some signs up, so I'd like to thank her. As well, Eleanor McNeil, who coincidentally was my librarian growing up, who's offered her boundless energy and all of her great ideas to the event today, and done a lot of help with me in terms of promoting. And of course, last but not least, is all of the various speakers who will be doing short presentations to you today about some of the local monuments. And on that note, I'd like to introduce you to my grandmother, Lena Hughes, who will be talking a bit about 90 years growing up in Coquitlam. Lena Hughes.